Wages World here. It is February 17th, 2020. I'm coming at you here with a video. We're going to talk about, again, I'll give you some updates on the virus situation. I also want to talk about this for just a second before we move forward here. I don't monetize my channel, guys, so there's going to be things that I can say that other channels don't, because that's their livelihood. You can't say certain words or the algorithm picks it up and it demonetizes their video. Now, if you're doing it for a job and you need it and all that, I support that. I really do. But for me, I don't monetize, so I can say certain things that some people can't. So I'm going to open up a little bit here with my vocabulary, and I've been trying to hold that back some, as you guys know. But I am going to show you guys a small clip of a video that I think you guys really need to see. It kind of puts little things into perspective about what's actually going on. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the information. Okay, guys. There are 760 million people in quarantine right now. Okay, the majority of them are in China. The China population is 1.386 billion. Okay, the global population is roughly 7.5 billion. So, that kind of gives you an idea. Most of us already knew this, that, China has a really high populated area, right? It's like 1/6 to 1/7 of the global population. That's huge. And it's actually a relatively small area for all these people to be living in. And so, why am I talking about that part of it? Well, we've never talked about like the narrative of depopulation here on my channel. You hear it a lot on a lot of other channels. And as far as where I stand with that, I'm kind of on the fence. If that's actually something that would be able to get done, as far as, is that really what they want to do? All of that, right? So, you go at it and you look at it with a skeptical, logical mind thinking, and you just try to understand it the best you can. So how am I, where am I standing with this right now? Right now, if you think about it, if you were the person that really wanted to depopulate this planet, okay, where would you start? You would start in the most highly populated, highly dense area of the planet, right? Well, where is that? China. Not to mention that they already had this stuff in place over there that they could do and do whatever they need to do, all of that. But the fact of the matter is that it would be the most logical place to start with something like that. No matter if it was virus or if it was war, if it was something else, right? Now, something else. What goes along with that depopulation, narrative? Well, we talk about, economic breakdown. Well, China has taken the paper money away from their people, physically, okay? They're saying they're disinfecting it. They're using this coronavirus as a reason to take their currency. So when they do that, it would be very easy for them just to simply not give it back to their people and completely collapse their economy so they can control it in a different way. So, I'm not going to talk much more about that because, there's a whole lot of, things in play there that none of us could really know exactly what's going on. We can just try to think about it and try to come up with a conclusion for ourselves. But I do think we need to think about this. I really do. So, and you guys know I'm hesitant to even talk like this at all on my channel. But I think at this point in time, I think we need to at least think about it and talk about it. Don't fear it at all. Okay, guys? Don't fear it. Just be aware. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do here. That's it. So, I'm going to show you guys a video here in a minute, okay? And it's going to show you something that, yeah. So, just hold on a second. Okay, guys. This is Mike and Cindy's channel, Evolutionary Energy Arts. And they showed a video today on one of their live streams. And I'm going to leave a link to this video. I'm just going to show you this small little clip. And guys, what you're going to see, and I'm just going to say it, you're going to see dead bodies all along the row here, okay? And these are people that are, and something else you need to take note of is there's hardly any traffic at all going on. Okay, so, anyway, I'll just let it speak for itself. So I'm going to play this real quick. Okay, and I'll try to pause it. Now look off to the right. Notice there's hardly anybody out and about in cars. Now look, I'm going to pause it right there. You guys see all that? Okay, now I know it's disturbing, all right? I do. I understand that. But at this time, I don't think we can, try to, baby it anymore. We just can't. We're just going to have to look at it. Because if we can't see it, then we can't fix it. If you know what I mean. So, and this is just some guy on his moped or scooter or whatever going down the road. And just look at that. I mean, it's sickening. I hate that. It makes me sad. I hate to even look at it. But this is actually what's going on. And again, did you guys see any cars at all driving around? No, you didn't. Okay, these people are on lockdown. This is for real. All right. So I'll leave a link to this video that Mike and Cindy showed. They did a really good live stream today. You guys go check it out. Evolutionary Energy Arts. Like I said, I'll leave a link. But that helps put it in perspective, guys. So as far as official numbers, okay, again, official, bunch of crap, just saying. Right now we got about 71,000. Even by these numbers, this is pretty substantial, okay? 71,000 confirmed. 1.7 or 1.8 thousand have been killed, all right? And again, guys, that number's just going to keep going up. And always keep in mind this too, guys. They started off saying this was not a big deal. Now there's not one country in the world that's saying that it isn't. We got cruise ships, for God's sake, people getting quarantined. And, it was great to see those people from the U.S. be able to come off of there and come back home. And, they flew them out of there and got them back home, but they're still in quarantine, which is what should happen. But, at least that happened. That's a positive. If you find any kind of positive on this, I guess this is it. But the fact of the matter is, these things are just, yeah. So as we get down through here, and again, I'm going to point this out too, again. Where's it at there? Oh, goodness, where'd I miss that at? Anyway, Japan's still real high. Okay. Now, again, here's the map of it. And we're starting to see in Africa, like I showed you guys yesterday, there's a case now in Egypt confirmed. That stuff is going to get going. Now, also, guys, keep in mind, if you look at the places this thing isn't, all right, I mean, there's some highly populated areas in those two continents, but I haven't looked at the actual numbers, but it looks as though that's not like extremely highly populated. So that would make sense that, those numbers might be a little lower there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure about why this isn't showing up in South America and Africa. That really puzzles me. But anyway, so there's your official numbers, guys, and any of you guys that's got kids, my daughter's sick right now, and we took her to the doctor last week, and she came home and all that kind of a thing. She had ear infections, and just anytime your kids get sick, it's bad anyway. But when something like this is going on, it adds that little extra, I guess, worry or concern. And now she's running a fever again and all kinds of things. And everything just runs through your mind, right? I mean, did she go to the doctor to get better, and actually because they fixed her ear infection, now did she pick up some sort of virus or something just from being in those areas? And I don't know. It's hard to know what to do when you're a parent. But in instances like this, guys, just lean towards the side of caution, because it's not worth the outcome of the other part of it. It's just not. No matter how crazy you look, no matter how crazy you sound, I would rather be crazy looking and sounding than to have to go through something as traumatic as watching my kid get sick. Okay, so just remember that. Guys, into the stuff I like to talk about. Okay, so we're just going to get into it. This right here is an article over at Space Weather. I'll leave a link and all that. But it's talking about magnetic explosions discovered in Earth's doorstep. Now, this happens more often than we know. Okay, what they're talking about is they're talking about explosions in our upper atmosphere. Okay, and they have more power than like some of our top nuclear bombs. Now, why don't these affect us how we think they should? In our minds, because they're usually way up there, like 100,000 miles. All right, but this time they seen it, and it was only 30,000 miles. And what it did was it caused this aurora. Okay, well, it helped cause this aurora, I should say. Look at that. Ain't that pretty cool? Now, what this is, and check out who Joseph Bradley that took this picture. It's awesome, right? And so what caused that? What caused the explosion? Well, what it is when you get solar wind, okay, it hits our planet. It kind of compresses, we've talked about this before, it compresses the lines of magnetism. And they come in and they get even tighter up around our poles because that's where most of it's coming in at. So when those lines of magnetism cross each other, they do that sometimes, they cause these explosions. Okay, they basically disconnect and reconnect, bam, big explosion. Kind of like, we've all seen the old movies where they jumpstart a car, putting the two wires together, and you see that spark, right? Well, it's kind of similar to that, not exactly, but yeah. So that's what happens. You get these big explosions. Well, what can they do? Well, first off, they can, when that explosion happened, the solar wind and the charged particles came in right on top of it, and it caused this aurora. So it can cause increased aurora, but it can also add to our geomagnetic activity. Okay, it actually raises it up. When that happened back here in January, it actually put us into a G2 level geomagnetic storm. Now, granted, we were getting solar wind anyway, but we were nowhere near a G2 level storm until that happened. Okay, and these are very, very powerful. You can read right here as far as energy. Like I said, it doesn't really affect us a whole bunch, but it can. And their fear is, guys, why am I talking about this? Because, our satellites are up there orbiting, right? They don't have the protection the Earth does with a magnetic field. So if that was to happen and that explosion happened right at the point where a satellite was at, it would probably destroy it. So that is one of the fears there. But it goes on to talk about it. The power of these, as it says right here, it has the energy of a magnitude 7 earthquake. Okay, it says 10 times the energy of the largest U.S. nuclear bomb. Oh, and then it says about 20 times the energy of a magnitude 7. I didn't see the 20 times. Wow, that makes it even bigger. That's crazy. So yeah, I wanted to bring that to you because sometimes we see these anomalies on our magnetosphere tools and stuff I show you guys all the time. I think that this might be some of it. I wouldn't see why we couldn't see those kinds of things when this happens, right? So yeah. All right, guys, here's another CME that happened back on the 15th, okay? As you can see, you can watch it right here. This one actually was kind of strange looking. You see the ripples? We've been seeing a lot of activity over there. Now, what caused this one? Well, I think that, believe it or not, I think Mercury might have caused this one too. It's right in that same area. All right? Remember, the object we talk about isn't on this side of the sun right now. It's on the other. So when we're looking at this, you can see that, right? I mean, it's, most definitely a CME. And it almost looked like it came in waves right there. Like it was 2 or 3 of them just kind of together, which would be the same CME, but it looks like it came off the sun in such a way. And so the next question, like I said before, is this coming at us? Well, we'll look at that in a second, but I'm going to go back and show you the other one first. So we'll just back this up a day. I think it was, let's go back another day. It might have been on the 13th. Either 12th or 13th. We had that other one I showed you guys just the other day. Let me pause it. Okay, it started on the 11th. That's right, I forgot about that. So here it is on the 11th. Okay. Now, let me, sometimes that stupid thing gets stuck and you have to like restart it. But anyway, you see how it had a little one out in front of it and then that bigger one started behind it? Don't worry about those flashes. Most of that's just particles causing the camera to kind of glitch. But as you can see right there, I mean, look at that, right? So we'll start that up and go to the next, and there's the start of the bigger one. Now we'll go to the 12th where we get to see the end of it. Okay, so now 3 days later, we had another one, right? That would be on the, let's see here, was it the 15th, I think? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, here's the one I'm going to show you guys now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to CME Tracker and show you what's going on. But something else here, let me show you something real quick. Okay, so this is stereo A on the 15th. This is what we did. We tried to figure out what direction that thing's traveling, right? Keep in mind, the Earth is over here, and stereo A is basically about, well, in this particular, I guess that's all wrong right there. This is stereo A. Earth is kind of about right out here, okay? But yeah, so we're looking at this, and again, it looks like it's coming right at us, but it's not, because it's going at a different angle, and I'll show you here in a minute. But what you're seeing here, guys, if you look, you have one blow here, and then you have a smaller one that's blowing here at the same time. The opposite side. See that? How it's ejecting out? Now, we didn't see it on LASCO because it's directly behind the sun. We couldn't see it. So we got a side view here, and we can see that kind of blowing straight off the back. So the question is, again, guys, is this coming at us? Well, let's go to the CME Tracker, and we'll find out. Okay, so here's the CME Tracker. Now, remember the last one I showed you guys? What happened was when Mercury crossed over where Venus's connection to the sun was, that's when the first one popped off going about right here, right? Well, looks like that might have happened again. I'm not sure if I don't think it actually crossed over where Venus is at, the connections. That's what those dotted lines are. It's our magnetic connection to the sun, okay? As you can see, it goes out to all the planets and even to the satellites. It connects magnetically even to these satellites. So that's what you're seeing here. Now my thing here is, guys, what I really wanted to show you, here's the CME that just blew off on the 15th. Okay, and we'll look at this here in a second, but it does look like we may catch a very small glancing blow from this. It didn't come right at us, but my concern comes from this. Obviously Mercury is orbiting. Okay, you can see that. What happens when it crosses that, where our IMF line is connected to the sun? Does it decide to cause another CME? Because if it caused one there, chances of it actually directly impacting us would be most definitely larger. Okay, so that's why I'm showing you that. That the CME that I'm showing you right here is not that big of a deal. Okay, it's just really not. And again, here's the side view. This is the top view for those of you guys that didn't know. And this is the side view. And then this over here is our orbit around the sun, but they stretch it out into a straight line. So where you see the little distortion right there, see that? That is where the CME's at, or where this tool is telling you it thinks the CME's energy is going to be right there. Okay, now you can see how close it comes to us, where that yellow dot there. Okay, and it does look like we could catch a glancing blow from this. It could go above us, below us, a little off to the side, whatever. But is it going to be a big deal? Probably not. Okay, but it does need talked about because, like I said, what happens when Mercury goes across our connection? Because it's already, I really wouldn't even be talking about this because sometimes this doesn't happen with Mercury. Mercury doesn't always do this, cause this kind of stuff. Mercury also, it gets blamed for a lot of things it doesn't do. Okay, just because it's the closest proximity to the sun. Now, obviously in Mercury's orbit, it's going to cross all these lines at one point in time anyway. But my thing is here is the sun is showing that it's active enough that any kind of little extra pull from anything could cause something. okay, which is exactly what we talk about with our object that's orbiting, right? It does something very similar. And again, that is what it is. So what happens when Mercury crosses that? I don't know. We have to wait and see, but I think we need to pay attention. So, but yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Well, hold on one second. Let me take you somewhere else. This is the tools I show you guys. This is just single captures. I'm not going to go over to ISWA and show you guys a time lapse, but we are getting some solar weather here. Okay, you see that orange right there, and I think this was expected from a coronal hole, and that energy is now getting to us. Also, that one that blew off the sun a few days ago, that CME, we could be seeing a little bit of an effect from that, because it would be reaching us if the timeline was right about now. So, but as we go down through here, obviously, it's just, we see this quite often. And I don't want to call it normal, because what we think normal is kind of changing. You know what I mean? So, that's most definitely some increased activity. You can see the very intense red right there on our satellite line. And so, yeah. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there, guys. I'll try to come at you the next day or two with another video. Try to keep you updated. But my focus right now, obviously my daughter's sick. So, and it sucks because it's her birthday today too. Yeah. So, we're just trying to make it the best we can for her and all that. So, my intention's there. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.